Out here, we are reading a hand of a 33-year-old person, and before I start my particular video, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can get a paid reading by calling me or you can email me. The numbers and the email are mentioned out here. You can basically contact me via that. And now we straight away head to this particular hand image. We have the left hand as well as right hand. In males, normally we take a look at the right hand. Right hand is the prominent hand to refer to, and left hand is the passive hand. Left hand is the hand of the past, right hand is the hand of the present, but both the hands are taken into account to come to a final conclusion. So first I will take the look at the left hand. It's not that left hand is of lesser importance. Left hand has its meaning. So that's the reason I would take a look at both the hands. I would describe each and every line out here, or whatever indication. The first line that I would go to is basically the heart line. This is basically the heart line. Nobody wants to know about the heart. They want to know about the money part. This is basically the money line. And people think that everything can be seen on the money line. It is untrue. It is not true. Each and every line can be correlated with money. It can be the lifeline, the headline, any sun line, the technical skin sign, everything can be correlated to the money line. So the importance of money line is just limited to 10-15% in terms of money and possessions, how much we are going to be having. So I'm just concentrating out here on the money part because this is the portion which everybody wants to know. So I would try to tell you what I see on the heartline regarding money. The heartline, whenever it is very long, it basically reaches the mount of Jupiter. Basically, this means that a person is very sensitive and idealistic, and such a person could get hurt easily. And for them, money is of a lesser priority. Where there is also an opportunity to make money, they might lose that particular opportunity. So this is one part. Although it is a little bit unclear because the heartline is going, probably it could be branching out also, and this branching out, one is towards Saturn and the other one is towards Jupiter. It's always to be on a single board, in a single, your goal should be singular. Like if you are angling towards money, you should be totally angling towards money, or if you are totally sensitive, you should be totally sensitive. So there could be two kind of natures out here. So this is one part. So a line that normally businessmen or people who accumulate good amount of money have their heartline purely and purely associated with the mount of Saturn. This is basically the finger of Saturn. Saturn is basically for money, possessions, wisdom, grounded. The person is very grounded and they know the ground situations very well. So this is one part. The other part is that in the initial period of the head and basically the lifeline, you would notice that the head and lifeline are tied down together for a long duration of time. So the person is cautious, shy, and hardworking and contemplating. But both these lines are unclear. The lines are not so very distinct and clear. So what happens is that probably the health as well as mind might have had lots of problems. And the other part is that you'd notice that the line starts at an early stage, then it changes its course. Like something like this. So this is a change of course that is happening at early period of one's life. Changes in one person's total mental personality. So there could be some few problems somewhere at the age of, like, let's say just right down below is 18. So roughly at the age of 20, before the age of 22 to 18. So that's the approximate age. There could have been problems. But at the same time, there are some very beautiful lines that we see originating from the headline or the lifeline going backward. These are the lines that we refer to. These are one of the most positive signs in the hand. This is the very important planet. This is the finger of Jupiter, and Jupiter for high position and honor. So this is a positive sign to have these lines that move towards the mount of Jupiter. And Jupiter being a big planet means that the person is angling towards honor, angling towards administration, religion, and politics, and those things bring result. So it's a very, very positive aspect to see in one's palm with these particular lines. And this means that the person is ambitious and growth oriented, and this whole thing is not just for one particular period of their life, it is basically for all throughout their life. So the person would always have this high position and honor. Now another thing I need to add out here, a significant thing out here, is that this is basically the money line. I just first draw the normal course that people have, and this is basically the headline and this is the heartline. So the intersection of the money and the headline is age 35. This is basically age 35. The heartline and the intersection of the money line, this portion is basically 53. So so you would notice this portion of the money line is before the age of 35. From this portion to this portion, the age is 53, and this from here onwards, the age is 53 and beyond. So you'd notice that the money line is kind of ending before it touches the headline. So somewhere at this present age, the person is traveling in this particular age, problems basically arise. And but at the same time, a new line is basically overtaking. A new line has already started at a little bit earlier age, and it is basically becoming much more prominent. So this period basically might have been a very significant period. This is what we see in the left hand. Probably things could be different in the right hand. So but somewhere or the other, these things also could play out in a person's life. So so break in the money line have got various meanings, 2 or 3 meanings. One of the meaning is that whatever the person is doing, the person might have losses, loss of business or loss of job. The first thing is that. Then it could also mean when there's a break in the money line, the main earning member in the family, their health or wealth basically gets affected. So more responsibility is going to come onto this particular person's head. The third is their personal life gets disturbed, because when a personal life gets disturbed, even the work basically gets disturbed. So these three possibilities arises, but again, the line in itself is deep and clear, and it's nice and clear. So automatically, it's not going to be of it's not going to be so negative as like the break basically that I'm indicating. This is basically the lifeline. Apart from the lifeline, there's supporting lifelines that we see. Supporting lifeline basically protects the person, and this protection is not just limited to the health point of view. This protection is basically from financial problems, mental problems, and the emotional problems. All these problems are getting protected by this particular supporting lifeline, and this is also called the guardian angel line, the supporting lifeline, or the Mars line, MARS, Mars line. And this area is Mars negative. This is just the name. And Mars negative basically means anger, aggression, and fire. So these things are depicted by Mars. So these qualities basically come into this particular person, and that's a reason why the person is able to fight against difficult people and difficult situations and come out as winners. So this another. As far as the sunlight, normally the sunlight comes from here to here, but you would notice that going towards the sun finger, the ring finger, but this portion of the line is the most prominent, and this portion is after the age of 53. So a prominent sun line basically means that the person is giving huge amount of energies to their work, and that's the reason why their work is going to basically shine. People call it the luck line. I say it is all about how much energies you are giving to your work. In the initial period, if a person has got weak lines basically means having doubts in their life, and doubts, self-doubt basically they take us away from a betterment or a success. But it's not, you have to take into account that not one line is everything. It's a combination of all the lines together which basically makes or breaks a particular person or creates success. So upward lines considered to be good on Jupiter, supporting line good, break is considered to be bad, good sun line is good, good technical skills, and this is the area of skill. And skills is the most important thing that brings success. Skills can be in the form of calculations or communication. It is basically the area of how better you can calculate. This is also the area of your business. This is also the area of medical engineering, statistics, economics, all kind of things can be seen out here. So normally when we have a single kind of a line out on the mount of Mercury, it is considered to be good. People can have one, two, three, but even one line is good enough. Try to understand, even single line can be the best sign to have. You need not have to have many lines, just a single line can be a good line, and that's it. So it's just that people shouldn't have crisscrossing lines over it, because if there are crisscrossing lines, I do not see any crisscrossing lines over it, but if there are crisscrossing lines, then the person miscalculates and miscommunicates. And a singular line out here means the person is sharpening their skills, and people who sharpen their skills are the ones basically who get success. Now we move on to the right hand. See, it's not that both our hands are totally different, but there could be a small amount of dissimilarity, small amounts, and very few hands have totally dissimilar kind of indications. So let's go one by one. Out here, you would notice that the heart line has become a little bit shorter. It's kind of more associating with the mount of Saturn. So the person is becoming more realistic, and the person is becoming much more responsible with money. So those qualities are coming. If it would have been a little bit shorter till only here and purely the Saturn part, then I would have considered to be much better. As the heartline is kind of quite straight, so these people are the ones who keep their emotions in check. They are not expressive with their emotions. And if the heartline was curving down, like something like that, then basically the person is passionate. And in the right hand also we find a prominent perpendicular line of Mercury. This is a good indication. I've already explained to you what basically it means. There are few the upward lines from the lifeline are always considered to be good. You would notice these upward lines I've already explained on the left hand, but there are few lines that are pointing somewhere towards the Saturn mount. The Saturn mount. Saturn is all about money and possessions, and lines that point from the lifeline towards the mount of Saturn means unlocking of financial resources and something good basically that is happening in this particular person's life. So this is a positive sign. These are luck lines, and this period basically becomes a lucky period, and everything basically is good. So this kind of indication remains with such a person for a long duration of time, because at least till this particular portion the age is approximately till this portion the age could be approximately 40 to 44. That's the approximate age, I would say. And you would have to consider one more thing. We have to consider common sense. Common sense says that this is the most productive years of our lives. So anything happening during this particular period is playing out in a major way. So so this portion becomes good. This at a later portion also we find this upward line, but that is pointing towards the sun mount. So it's more to do with your career and betterment in one's career. But again, we look at the sun line out here in this case. In this case, you would notice that the line is a little bit dim out here. These are dim kind of lines. These are not very clear-cut kind of lines. Comparatively, this portion, the line is comparatively much better, much more deeper. The light lines, what basically it means, it is something like I correlate a sun line into three: deep clouds, light cloud, no cloud. Deep clouds is a situation where you are unable to see the sun. It means when the line is very dim, it means that the sky is full of clouds. It means the doubts are there, and doubts or self-doubt basically it does not give us success. So it is said, let's say we have to do some work and the boss is giving us some work, so they are going to judge us with what we basically speak. If we have self-doubt, so what's going to happen is that they are if they see that we have got self-doubt, they are not likely to give the job to us because they have to save their own seat. So that's the reason why self-doubt have to be removed completely. So this is a little bit negative sign. The line should be a distinct, but again I would say that one line doesn't mean everything. It's a combination of many lines. Automatically the skill line is perfect. The upward lines, the area of administration is perfect. So even if the person doesn't have a very strong line out here, even then the results are still going to come to this particular person. The other thing is the headline is branching out into two, and normally branching out of the headline means the person is a genius. The person has that ability to see the situation in two different angles. It does not mean confusion at all. It just means that they have two kinds of perspective. So this is a good sign. A line from the area of Mars is coming and touching the money line and the headline at the age of 35. This intersection, I've already said, this is age 35, so problems can be seen at that particular age 35, financial as well as mental. And one more line I want to add out here before I end this particular video, a very, very important line. This is basically the line that we are referring to. There are many more lines coming like this. So these are more of Mercury lines. Mercury lines are considered to be good, but a person need not have many lines. If they got many lines, then it's going to kind of overwork a person's mind. So limited amount of lines should be there. And if a person overworks his mind, then probably his more bile is secreted, and because more bile is secreted, probably that's the reason why the stomach gets affected or liver gets affected. So it's better to have lesser lines and try to calm their mind. Calming their mind brings much betterment. What we are talking about this particular line, this is kind of a sister line. In one of the books, it is explained that this is kind of a sister line to the Mercury line. So it is considered to be good in a way because Mercury line is the line for skills, and basically this circular kind of a line basically is called the Via Lescavia line. Via Lescavia line is basically the line of technical skills. Sorry, this is the area of this is basically the line of allergies. This could be the line of allergies to anything. It could be medicine, it could be chlor, it could be air, it could be any kind of a thing, and some kind of a addiction. So I've talked to many people, but they say that some people have it, some people don't have it. But because I saw it prominently, I basically said this thing in my video. And that's it for this particular video. Thank you for watching. Bye and take care.